What's up, beautiful folks? I'm here once again with the video. And this question was brought up in a conversation. And so I decided to come on here and address it. Why? Because I feel like a lot of people deal with this particular topic. And so the question is, how does one, meaning one person, two people, whatever, move on from a situation, circumstance, relationship, trauma, when it hasn't been acknowledged? Now, I feel like that is what so many people deal with when it comes to healing and it comes to trauma. Trauma when it comes to childhood trauma, ancestral trauma, generational trauma, relational trauma, health-wise trauma. And this is what keeps you stuck in a loop, in a cycle. Why? Because, just give an example. If you've gone through traumatizing situations within your life, and the other person does not acknowledge the trauma and the part played in the result of what has happened to another, how do you move forward? How do you move past it? And so that is how a lot of situations are unhealed, because the acknowledgement has not been acknowledged. And so, like I said, how do you move on from that? True acknowledgement is acceptance and the part that you play in one's trauma. And holding on to that trauma. And the loop just keeps on going. Why? Because acknowledgement has not been accepted. And believe it or not, acknowledgement is freeing for you, for the situation, for the other person, for their mind, the conscious mind, for their body. A lot of things that we go through traumatic wise gets embedded, entangled in our DNA. From ancestral line to childhood to becoming an adult. And these things can get deeply embedded in our emotional body. And when stuck energy, when you go through healing, stuck energy keeps you weighed down. It keeps you bound. It shows itself within your body. It could be your back pain, neck pain, headaches, shoulder pain, heaviness. Believe it or not, that is trauma speaking to you in some way. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And so that is why it's important to move through trauma that you have endured, to release the blockages, to release the stuck energy. That's why I said on my last video about reflecting on your life and on this year that is coming to an end, and moving through those stuck areas. Why? Because when you step into a new timeline, right? A new year, a new phase, a new cycle. Releasing the old is important because it carries over. It does not disappear. It does not go away. it's suppressed. And when it's coming to the surface, that is how you release the depression. That is how you release the anxiety. That is how you release all these stuck things that keep you stuck and bound from moving forward in life. That is what trauma does. When it's not acknowledged, when it's not addressed, it keeps you stuck and bound from moving through your creative energy, moving on to new projects, moving on to new relationships, moving on to new chapters in your life, being productive. Listen, we all carry some form of this. Maybe not yours. Maybe you are here to transmute for others. Maybe this is something that you need to acknowledge in yourself. But how do you move on when it hasn't been acknowledged by another person? Simply release it and let it go. Because guess what it'll do for you? It's releasing you from that trauma. It's releasing you from the guilt and the burdens and the pain. Just because the other person has not acknowledged what has happened, trust and believe if that person's situation, circumstance has any type of emotional connection and has any type of conscience, they feel it. It arises. But a lot of times when we're burdened down, we avoid. We stay busy to keep from acknowledging. But best believe it's still going to play out in life. Why? Because your body can begin to break down on you. It plays out in your attitude and how you interact, on who you are as a human being, how you show up in the world. But releasing these things in your body becomes lighter. Your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body becomes lighter. And trust me, when you work through heavy traumas and healing, it is not easy. Why? Because it begins to come up and come out. So you have to listen to your body. Take the necessary steps and breaks when needed. Rest when you need to. When you overwork and overexhaust yourself. That is because some things in your life have not been acknowledged. Closure has not been acknowledged. Closure releases you, releases the other person, releases the circumstance and situation out to the universe for it to be freed. So you can free up that energy within your energy body, your energy field, the next person's. We hold traumatic things in our body, and then we blame ourselves. We're on autopilot sometimes in life, y'all. But to get unstuck and move through the stuck things of life, it's freeing. It's liberating. Acknowledging wrong, it just is what it is. Don't beat yourself up behind it. Acknowledge it and move forward. So again, the question is, how do you move forward when it has not been acknowledged. Don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will guide your path. You have to tap in and get you an anchor. You have to tap in and get you a foundation. And lean on that. No matter how hard it hurts, how bad it feels, when you're not acknowledged, when the situation has not been acknowledged, you still move forward. As hard as it may sound, as harsh as that how it may sound, because guess what? In the end, you are free. All right, y'all. So I love you. Have a wonderful day. Peace, ashe, namaste, y'all.